And at the bottom left, we have the Protoss player in this matchup. We have Liquid Hero. I don't think that we have the Korean voice for the player, so we'll have to do it, Wolf.
Okay.
I'm not making the girl voice though for Stephano. He's starting at the top right in the blue colors. This is the player from Millennium. This is Millennium Stephano. Well, I tried.
No, it was pretty good. I liked it. Good job. Stephano typing in chat, actually, wishing good luck and have fun to Hero. It's one of his style things. You know, he loves to say grats
at the end of the game
when he loses.
And once again, we want to mention that you can now check out GOMTV.net. There's a new ticket system where you can get a yearly or a premium plus ticket, and you will get a free Blizzard Cup HQ ticket as well if you do so. There are different types of passes this time, so definitely check this one out. Go to GOMTV.net and check out the new ticket system. There are a lot of options that you can get, and it's really worth it. And we are focusing on this PvZ at hand now. It's kind of interesting, by the way, that Stephano, he always has some kind of a lucky charm with him. He has a lot of pets, actually. He has a teddy bear, an elk, and a small dog that's called Cujo, which is because of Stephen King. Because his nickname is Stephano, so when he looked for a name, it was like, yeah, Stephen King, Stephano, Stephen, okay, let's go for Cujo. That's the story behind that. It was really funny when he told it today when we were having food.
That is pretty funny. Well, you can see the predictions here. Hero slightly more favored by the fans to get out of this group. About 6 to 7% more there. It looks like a really fast Nexus coming out for Hero. He was able to see that his opponent went gas first with this probe. And I think the gas first was actually because Hero went for such an early scout. If you see the scouting probe that early, well, you can't go hatch first. If your opponent has a probe there, any good Protoss was just going to block it. So a good choice to go gas first, I think, on this map.
I'm interested to see what exactly Stephano is going to do. Daybreak is a map where the distances between the two maps are really huge, especially in the early game when you can't get rid of the rocks in the middle in order to make those distances a little bit shorter. So Stephano is already building his second hatch right now at 20 supply, and with the expansion of Hero coming up, I actually expect him to take a quick third as well. I've been talking to him a little bit about how he uses to play against Protoss, and he told me that when a Protoss player is taking that second base, he usually tries, he's actually quite happy about that because he gets 1/3 base for free unless the Protoss player plays too greedy, and then he starts to go for an all-in, which we probably won't see on a map like that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see an all-in on this map. This map is kind of designed to take a fairly easy third for Zerg. There's that third base that's pretty close to your natural, and I think we'll probably, like you said, see him take that fast third for almost free. I like this second probe scout coming in for Hero. He's going to see that the gas is no longer being mined, so he knows it's not going to be any sort of Baneling all-in or Roach all-in. He also knows that he might be able to see the hatchery on his way out with that probe. He knows that it wasn't cancelled at the very least, and yeah, he is actually going to be able to see that it's still there.
And speed is done. That probe is doomed. Kaboom.
Thank you for that sound effect, Caldor. You did a much better job than the actual sound designers. I know you already worked on Heart of the Storm. I'm sure you did all the recordings for that.
I try. And there are more queens being built right now. I think he's already on 2. Yes, he's getting a creep slave now as well to spread that creep a little bit further. And the +1 attack upgrade is now just being researched for Hero. So he is making good use of that forge and will add a lot of gateway units early on. And this is kind of one of the possible follow-ups that you can play as a Protoss player. Either you go for that Stargate, which is kind of the usual, or you go for a fast +1 attack. Some players combine that in order to get a Void Ray Zealot combination to put pressure onto the Zerg. And we'll see what Hero actually decides to do, while Stephano is taking that third base that Wolf and I have already been talking about a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to take that quick third. It looks like Hero is going to move out with those first 2 Zealots. A very common strategy to see players do these days, considering that a lot of Zerg players right now have just been droning up quite heavily. Can put pressure on that third hatchery and force more Zerglings to come out. Right now, 5 drones are on the way. Pretty smart considering that these Zealots are going to take a while. And he's slowing them down with these Zerglings. I really like that.
Yeah, and he has a probe with him as well. And Stephano immediately tries to kill that probe, but realizes, okay, I don't have enough Zerglings with me right now in order to take that one down. But it already gives him a clue what's going to happen.
Yeah, it does indeed. And 3 gateways going down for Hero, going up to 4 gateways now. Looks like the pylon has been planted for Hero.
With Roach Warren being built, do you really think that Hero will be able to do a lot of damage to
I
Stephano?
don't think he will. He may be able to kill this third hatchery, but it's not going to be easy, especially considering that Stephano knows this is coming, but he still is not making more Zerglings right now. In fact, right now he's got 2 Zerglings out. He's just really banking on these Roaches. It's going to take him a while to make, and I'm a little bit concerned about Stephano. I think he's being a little bit too greedy here.
I have to admit that that might actually I think he might be just in time with that, and I have to say that his Overlord positioning is actually awesome. He had the Overlord position exactly at that spot where Hero was trying to build his pylon. So Stephano now building 12 Roaches at a time. 12 Roaches and 6 Zerglings. He should be fine. He will take some damage on the hatchery, but it should be he should be able to defend that.
Well, Hero is going to use these 6 Zealots to probably target down this hatchery, I would expect, as soon as you see the Roaches. He's actually not. And because of this, I think Stephano's actually going to be totally fine. These Zealots are not going to do very much to these Roaches at all.
Wow.
And wow, this has been totally set down.
He was able to save the Queen with 11 hit points. Wow, Stephano. 84 supply against 60. That guy is going for it, getting the lair tech, 10 additional drones. He knows perfectly that Hero will not be able to put any more pressure onto him right now, and uses that small window to get more drones. He already has 53. That count will increase within the next few seconds to 60 against 40.
Hero in a tough spot.
Yeah, that was really good for him, doesn't it?
Hero's going to have to make a fast third base now, a lot faster than he wanted to. He's warping in a few more sentries. He's got Hallucination on the way. He's making a cannon at that third base location, clearly preparing to take it. Does drop the Nexus down now. But I have to say, I mean, considering that he knew that his opponent saw the attack coming, I think he should have tried to target down the Nexus. It probably wouldn't have even worked, but that's the most he could have gotten out of those Zealots, or at least gone home. Just sending them against the Roaches was a huge blunder. He lost all of his Zealots doing almost killing Queen was basically the most out of it that he got.
And I like that Hero right now is going not only for the third base that we've just seen, but also he tries to get the armor upgrade, so he tries to get an advantage in the upgrades, and that Warp Prism illusion.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's a hallucinated Warp Prism. That's really going to scare Stephano. It's going to make him perhaps put Spine Crawlers up at his base, and he's not even really going to be spending any resources to make that hallucinated Warp Prism. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that fake out is pretty cool. When I saw the hallucination upgrade, I expected him to go for the usual Phoenix in order to get an idea what's happening in the main base right now, but that is actually very smart. But I think by now Stephano already realized, okay, that can't be the real deal.
Yeah, and it was shut down, and he was able to see that it was a hallucination, so not the best there. This Overseer doesn't get to see a whole lot, does see the Robo, I believe.
We have 73 Harvesters against 58 by now. Stephano is 134 supply against 91, and this is so scary. And what can Hero do to come back into this game right now? It's really tough for him.
Yeah, it is going to be really tough. He's going to have to turtle up quite heavily and get that maxed out army. Without a maxed out army against Stephano, it's going to be very difficult. Stephano, on the other hand, is just going to try to continue to trade with his upgraded Roaches. Right now, he's about to have 1-1 upgrades for those Roaches. They are barreling down at Hero's front, but Hero, with another cannon on the way and a decent amount of sentries, should be able to hold this.
And Stephano is getting a 4th base at the same time as he's placing down a macro hatch. That one new base has been scouted by 1 Zealot though, and now at the front Stephano going for the Destructible Rocks. The first force fields, he doesn't have borrow movement just yet, he's losing all these Roaches. Nice trap set by Hero, very well done, but will it save him?
Well, we'll see. It looks like these Roaches are going to back up again. You know, because Stephano has such an economic lead and he already has a decent amount of units out, he's still up 50 supply here. Hero forced to make a ton of cannons. Zealot actually severely damaged that hatchery, but because Stephano has such a good control of the map right now, I don't think that'll matter too much. I like that Hero is following these armies around with hallucinated units to make sure he knows exactly where the Roaches are positioned at all times so his units can be ready.
Yeah, that's really a nice move by him, and he has the first Colossus being built. He's going for extended thermal lands. We also have Immortals in the army of Hero to deal with the Roach threat, but Stephano going for the +2 attack upgrade, and he's finishing Tunneling Claws now, so those force fields won't pose a big threat to him anymore.
Well, the only problem is he doesn't have Burrow, actually, but hold that thought. Some force fields being dropped here. A few Roaches do get cut up, but a 2-pronged attack from Stephano. Will Hero have enough? He does have a lot of Photon Cannons. 1 Colossus being targeted down.
And at the same time, Stephano is did use some drones as well to attack. Caught in the army, apparently. And he's targeting down all the cannons and is now beginning to break away the army of his opponent. But he needs to be careful. With the Colossus in the equation, he needs to back off again.
Yeah, well, you know what? because he was able to have such an economic lead, he's been making 20 to 30 roaches during this attack as well, and he's actually killing some of the units of Hero, so because he has such a better economy right now, this is a pretty good trade for him.
Yeah, he can trade armies all day long. He has the better economy, the better income. Finally, extended thermal lance is done, and this time Hero is going for the War Prison. This time it's the real deal, no hallucination, and we have the +2 armor now be researched for Stephano. He's pulling ahead in upgrades as well. He has the lead in his economy, he has the lead in army supply, and is now getting another lead in his upgrades and attacking once more with the Roaches going for the kill. The Colossus is down, the second one just enters the battle, and Hero needs to be careful. He's dropping in supplies on 113 against 165, and Stephano just building roaches, and more roaches going for the infestation pit, and Hero is on the ropes.
Yeah, man, his forces have been surrounded here slightly, and he's got to actually retreat back to his natural, but meanwhile, roaches are just killing all of his probes at the third base, and I can't see Hero coming back from this.
And this matchup against Protoss is Stephano's best matchup. He has a 69% win quota in this particular matchup, and this is exactly why he's taking down the third base of Hero. At the same time, the War Prison tries to put some pressure onto the French Zerg player, but not this time.
Yeah,
Hero
man,
will lose that base.
He's already prepared. He already had roaches for that War Prism. You saw it. Look at his creep spread, his overlord positioning, everything. He's on top of it all.
He's everywhere.
He really is. Hero playing a pretty good game here, but Stephano just was able to get away with that third. I think Hero just kind of put himself behind ever since that first attack failed.
When he's going for a Dark Shrine now, this is kind of a desperate attempt to get back into that game. He just hopes that with the Dark Shrine he might be able to damage the economy of his opponent. And once more, the War Prism, but Stephano is ready. The Queens target the War Prism immediately, and the Roaches deal with a threat on the ground. Very nice play by Stephano, taking down the third, and those DTs are the last hope for the Protoss player from Team Liquid.
Absolutely, man. It's just roaches, and more roaches right now for Stephano, but he's able to trade so well with them. I don't blame him for continuing this composition.
And he actually forgot the Burrow upgrade. I was waiting for him to borrow his roaches the whole time. He got the Burrow movement already, and I thought, why isn't he using it? But now he's researching Burrow. He forgot about the upgrade. But still, those roaches deal a ton of damage to the Protoss army, taking down the Immortals. And now Hero dropping below 100 supply against 185. Stephano in this commanding lead is taking the Protoss player apart. And those DTs are the last straw for Hero.
Yeah, he is going to try to drop one DT into the main base, but I don't think that's going to be enough, Caldor. GG!
That's game. Hero leaves the match, and Stephano, the foreigner hope in Group A, wins his first encounter today. Very impressive play, and he showed why the matchup against Protoss is his strongest. Hero disappointed, of course. He lost that game on Daybreak, and Stephano just relaxing a little bit.
Yeah, I have to say Stephano definitely. I don't know if he played like that, but I gotta say Stephano, man. He way outplayed Hero in that game. Hero did that big attack. He warped in about, I guess, 4 extra Zealots. He had probably 5 to 6 Zealots total with that attack. Did not target the hatchery, just ended up fighting against Roaches, and, well, I mean, fight against Roaches like that. Zealots aren't going to win. He almost killed a Queen, and that's it. He lost that huge initial wave, and from there, Stephano was just able to take that relaxed pose, make more hatcheries, make more drones, and just take a huge economic lead, and then just continue to trade Roaches. His Roach battles were never enough to, like, kill the Nexus, you know, or just destroy everything, but he destroyed all the cans, and suddenly he's just more and more Roaches. He's got such a good production. He's just got an infinity Roaches, basically, just constantly making them. Yeah,
it was really interesting. You mentioned the first fight, and his timing was just perfect. It was this razor thin timing where he decided not to get Zerglings. He knew his opponent would go for the +1 attack, so Zerglings would be kind of useless, and it was so close. Wolf mentioned it in the game itself that it is kind of a tricky situation for him to wait for that Roach Warren, but he built 12 Roaches at the same time. Hero not going for the hatchery, and then after he was able to defend, he could just drone up. And from that point on, with 3 bases against 2, getting the 4th at some point, Hero just could not catch up with the Zerg player in terms of economy.
I mean, when your opponent gets the vision of the pylon, that's basically it for you.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head into the next match, which is going to be MVP against DRG, against Don Ragu. The battle of the acronyms.
Yeah, and you know, Dongre-gu is known in Korea as the Terran Killer, oftentimes known in the foreign scene as the final boss because of his GSTL performance. speaking of GSTL, I can't wait for that again next year. It's gonna be coming up pretty soon, so I bet a lot of you out there forgot about that. They're like getting excited and they're just like, oh yeah, GSTL's coming up again next year. Yeah, guys, it's coming up again, so get excited about that. And MVP obviously got an awesome win rate against Zerg. He's just got an awesome win rate overall. And, you know, I have to say, MVP, largely the favorite here, but Dongraegu has shown nothing but solid play, especially against Terran, so he's definitely got a chance here.
Yeah, definitely. This match will be kind of awesome, especially MVP. He looks a little bit nervous as well. He knows that his opponent is pretty tough, so he has to give his best in order to win that match. And Dongraegu, he looks eager to take this game of his opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Blizzard Cup 2011. We are heading into the first game.
I pull myself together again. I can't